Hey, it's Nitya. We're at part 2 of the 2023 forecast for the year of the Yin Water Rabbit. Oh my gracious. The full blog is on my website, Nitya Living. Again, if you are interested in Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese astrology, please subscribe and like this video. I welcome your comments. Please always keep them positive. So I'm jumping around a little bit because the first video really gave you an overview of where we've been with the tiger and the attitude in which we want to move into 2023 and kind of a generalized forecast for that. In this one, we're just going to jump into the zodiac relationships in 2023. And let me just say, there are a lot of these videos out there. If you're born in the year of this, then this is your forecast. No. Please, please do not hold those, fortune cookie forecasts like to the letter, because it's like going out and checking your car and saying, I need to check one tire to see if my car is going to make it this big trip. You've got to check all 4 tires. We have 4 pillars: your year, your month, your day, your hour. Just because you're born in the year of the, let's say, the dragon, what if you're born on the day of a yin water rabbit and you don't know that? And you're in direct conflict with this coming year. Your forecast is going to be very different from that. It also has to do with how much of each element you have in your chart. For instance, if your chart is very wet, it's been a really wet bunch of years, very cold and wet. It's slowly warming, slowly. Like I said in the previous video, we've got till 2025 until fire returns. So if you have an excessively watery chart, all this water may not be a positive thing. There's so many factors to go into what makes or breaks a positive year for you. Now, that being said, you have the power, even if you have a shitty forecast, to say, okay, then I will be more mindful that when I see trouble coming, I will stop, pause, take a step back, take a mighty deep breath, and figure out my way around it. Again, the way forward in life, just like water moving around the obstructions in a stream, it doesn't push aggressively. It flows around it, and that requires awareness. Okay? So, all that being said, that's my lead up. If you're interested in your Bazi Chinese astrology chart, you can go to nityaliving.com and order it. Okay. You can also, once your chart has been done, you can order an update for 2023 that takes you month by month with an overview of the year in relation to your chart and also your current luck cycle. Everybody goes through these 10-year luck cycles determined by your birthday and time. And all of that needs to be taken into consideration. So, in general, I preface this, the sheep, the dog, and the pig will all find blessings and protection in our year of the rabbit. Financial and career luck, and more likely to experience harmony in their relationships and in their life. Beautiful. Rabbit is protected by the yin water nourishing its little bunny self. But they're also said to rabbits are said to offend Tai Shui, bringing about obstacles, challenges, and exposures that lead to insecurities and indecisions. So it really depends on your unique chart as to whether you're sinking or swimming in this year. So those born on the day or in the year of yin water, years ending with a 2 or 3, have the nobleman with them this year, and that gives you protection. It's like your angels are really around you, giving you support, protection, and assistance in times of trouble. So again, the best astrologies are the sheep, the dog, and the pig. Now, remember, your year is the umbrella of who you are. Specific is your day, and your day pillar is everything. Everything. So that is even more important to know than even your year. Okay? So the worst signs, the clash against your day pillar will usually cause movement. And that can actually be literal movement. Like, here we go, we're moving. It can also mean you're traveling. But it usually is conflict in the family or with your spouse, your lover, your most intimate relationships, and is a direct hit to your overall welfare. The worst clash are people born on the day of the rooster, a little less so, but still kind of a trouble if you're born in the year of the rooster. The rooster is yin metal, the rabbit is yin wood. Okay, so this is kind of like somebody cutting flowers. Okay. Some rooster years, 1921, 1933, 1945, 1957, 1969, 1981, 1993, 2005. Those are all rooster years. But again, the worst conflict is if you're born on the day of a rooster. And you should keep a dog talisman with you. You can order these things online, but you want to make sure that it is an actual Chinese cure. Okay, and if you need help finding those, just make a comment. I'm happy to even put a link in your comment if you are somebody born on the day or year of the rooster and are going to need a dog talisman. Usually what I get are the red statues that I put by my bedside, and then I'll get a little hanging totem that I can hang from the rear view mirror or on my my keychain. Okay. So this clash could be, because it's metal, it could involve cars, machinery, even something like being stabbed or cut with a knife. So rooster people need to take extra care when they are driving cars and traveling. It's going to be a much more turbulent year. Like I said, more movement, more travel, more change. It's also one of the things that I caution people when there's a year like this is just take a step back. Not every year needs to be some big, huge thing, right? Take a step back. Make it a far easier year for yourself. Avoid any extreme behavior. Racing cars, even something like a more dangerous sport like jet skiing or off-road biking, things like this. Avoid traveling, all of us. When you get in your car, when you're beginning to drive, make sure you are not pointing in the direction of the east. It is like driving into confrontation. The east is ruled by the rabbit. The rabbit has sovereignty this year. We want to honor that space by not invading it. And I'm going to talk in the feng shui portion in another video about the problematic situation going on in the east this year and how to cure that in your home. Okay. So that the east is where the Grand Duke sits. and you do not want to mess with the Grand Duke. It also means look at the direction in which you're sitting when you're at your desk, when you're in your bed, when you're eating meals. Literally, I have taken chairs off of a certain side of a table to avoid anyone facing a difficult direction, depending on the feng shui of the year. So be mindful of injuries, my rooster friends, to your small bones, back and neck. The rooster's clash against the tai shui carries emotional pain, changes involving a financial situation. It could stimulate business rivalry, maybe even a lawsuit. So roosters this coming year are really looking for stability and financial security in a year that's not going to give you that. That being said, don't rock your boat. Make no major changes. Keep your money close and liquid. No investing. No investing. And that includes making big purchases. Horrible year to buy a car or a house or anything big. Keep that in mind, my roostery friends. The rabbit is also forming a penalty relationship with the rat, and I've talked about this punishment of the rat and the rabbit. It causes hidden danger, possible disharmony, worries and irritations, and even hidden sickness, like a tumor. People born in the year or day of the rat are recommended to also carry the dog talisman for protection against all of this negative influence. A relationship started in the year of the rabbit for a rat person is likely to have hidden dangers and to be bittersweet. They could get really funky. You remember I talked about this in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp video back in May of 2022. It's a great video to go back and look at. Rabbit-rat interaction. It's kind of like if a guy starts dating a woman and everything seems fine. It's interesting how she likes everything he likes. She seems to align with so much of him that he feels safe enough to bring her into his world and start dating her. Months later, maybe a year later, maybe after you have married her and made a big commitment to her, things start going sideways. Turns out she's got maybe a personality disorder, narcissistic behavior disorder. Talking specifically about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation. And your whole life gets sabotaged. This is an example of what can go on with rat and rabbit. I also know people who have the rat and rabbit in their astrology chart, which is a caution that throughout your life, you could have people, relationships of all kinds, that wind up sabotaging some part of your life. And you need to be extra cognizant before you just blatantly, openly trust people. And maybe you came here in this life to learn just that. Trust issues, real thing. So again, things can get really funky in a rabbit year for rat people. Be really careful about the relationships you form. Pigs and rabbits make a wood combination because pig contains wood and water, and the water is a nurturing element for wood and supports the rabbit. So if both pig and sheep are in the birth chart, they will join with the rabbit to form a wood trinity. So if wood is beneficial for your chart, that's great. If it's not, well, then it's not great. Dogs and rabbits combine to make fire. So if dog is in your chart, then your people relationships will probably be much better. If fire is an auspicious element in your chart, awesome sauce. Horse is a fire element, and wood rabbit can help fire to burn. So if your chart has horse and the lucky element is fire, then that means you'll have a smoother year. I don't know that fire is necessarily my lucky element. I actually have an excessive amount of fire in my chart, so probably a little mixed bag there. Also, rabbit is the romantic star of horse, which implies a love affair is coming and romantic relationships are strengthened. That's always nice to hear. The rabbit gets along really well with the tiger, suggesting good relationships and harmony. And if you have rabbit in your chart, again, you're offending the Grand Duke. And you really need to keep a dog talisman for protection. Avoid traveling, all of us traveling into the east. The peach blossom of romance will affect many people born in the day and year of the tiger, the dragon, the horse, the sheep, the dog, and the pig. And remember that if you have multiple of these animals in your chart, for instance, let's say you're born on the day of the rooster and the year of the horse, you're going to have a mixed bag. And I was just writing an update for a client yesterday and saw how even though her year is in void and even though there's offenses happening, the elements are working in her favor. There can be enough of a mixed bag between the elements and the animals at play to give you kind of a neutral year, which is far better than having it all be bad. And we can't always have it all be good. So the rabbit asserts a harm against the dragon, which can cause interruptions and upsets. And a destruction path between the rabbit and the horse can bring sudden closures and endings. I'm actually hoping to work with that forecast. An overwhelming sense of overconfidence and carelessness can lead to serious mistakes and financial ruin. Good to know this stuff ahead of time, right? For my horsey friends out there. You know, when you have the awareness of what your forecast is, whether it's neutral, whether it's positive, whether it's a hot mess. When you have this awareness, if you know it's going to be a really great year or a overall beneficial year, then you know that that's a year to not just plan, but to also go so far as to manifest, right? To take advantage of that. In your own home, you could couple a good forecast for your chart with making sure you activate the best areas of the feng shui in your home. And then on the flip side, if you're having a neutral year, you still want to activate those best areas in your home and really make sure to sidestep the negative areas to, again, keep the playing field neutral. Sometimes we just need to get through the year, breathing in, breathing out, doing the best we can, and holding peace in our hearts. If you have a challenging year forecasted, you want to really focus your energy on making sure the worst feng shui in your home is under control. Do that first and then turn to the positive energy and see if you can't glean some of that. Because even with a negative forecast, like I said earlier, you can sidestep it with awareness. Recognizing it's a year to slow down. Go spend time in the garden. Go for a lovely walk. Spring is like just the beginning of things growing. It's not harvest time. So all of that being said, I'm going to pause here. and share more astrology of the President of the United States, the Vice President, and the United States in the next video. This short, sweet one is just about the most crucial animals in the zodiac and what their forecast is. Just giving you a little glimpse. But again, if you're interested in knowing your full story, order a Bazi Chinese astrology reading with me. Usually takes about 2 weeks to turn those around. Okay. Thank you so much. Be well.